To Sustainachella and happy Friday. We made it! Yay! The panelists, you guys can join me. Come on, guys. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. We're super excited to have you, and we're super excited that it's Friday. My name is Flavia Tognoli. I'm the Sustainability Manager with the City of Miami Beach. And we also have here Yenny Pineda, Senior Sustainability Coordinator. I got it right this time.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, Yenny. And we also have Betsy Wheaton, our tremendous director. Say hello, Betsy.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy Friday.
All right. Awesome. So, guys, as we wait for more folks to join in, you know, I see the numbers increasing in Zoom right now. Let's warm up the chat. So, Yenny, are you ready? Okay. So guys, we wanted to ask you, you know, Yenny and I have been talking about a lot actually about our resolutions post-COVID. Now that we are starting to go outside, we're finally being able to go outside our houses. So we'd love to hear from you, and you can show us in the chat. And as we wait for folks to populate the chat, panelists, share with us, what is your COVID resolution? Yenny, everybody's shy. Do you want to start?
So mine was going to be eating healthy, but I just saw that Les wrote out Happy National Donut Day, so I don't think that's going to work very well for us.
Come on, lads, you need to help it out. We all gain weight during the season. What about you, Mike? What are you going to say?
I am going to ride my bike to work once a week at least.
Wow, cool.
And I don't work too close to home.
Very nice. Love it. What about you, Sophie?
I'm going to pick up even more trash.
Awesome. And let me see here. My resolution is to reduce wearing leggings. Awesome. Really good one, Michelle. Thanks for sharing. Betsy, keep up my health eating habits and exercise. Look at you. Such a good example. I'm on the other side. I need to go back to exercise and go back to eating healthy.
I'm actually worried about everyone coming back to the office and bringing in the sweets. Keep them away.
Les, you didn't hear that, okay? You're with us right now.
And actually, granola also works. I think granola is a healthy alternative.
Here we go. It's Yenny's favorite. If anybody would like to send food to our office, Yenny's favorite is granola. All right, guys, we have a pretty packed agenda. So one more resolution. Let me see here. Doing yoga. Awesome. Continue riding my bike to the grocery store, local businesses, and to work. Oh, I love it, Doris. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, we'll keep going right now. And Yenny, are you ready to do our housekeeping?
Yes. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, you'll notice that you have both your videos and microphones disabled. That's to avoid any type of funny business like Zoom bombing. We are going to ask if you guys have any questions during the presentations to please type them in the Q&A box in the middle. This will keep them from getting lost within the chat. And when you do share comments within the chat, we recommend that you choose everyone or all panelists and attendees so that everyone can read your thoughts and reply to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Yanni. And now going to, you guys ask for it. And here we go. Woohoo! Our June lineup for Sustainachella. Go for it, Yanni.
So as you guys can see, for our next event after this one, we have recycling. This one is backed by popular demand. So that's going to be on Tuesday. So please join us at 4 p.m. All the registration links for each one of these events are open. So you can sign up today if you'd like. Just go over to our website, mbrisingabove.com/Sustainachella.
Thanks, Yanni. All right, and guys, today, before I go to our presenters, we are going to do something a little bit different. So, you know, the past days, we had some, you know, unfortunate things happen. And I know that you guys must be thinking like, oh, Sustainachella is my happy place. You know, it's the place where I go to look for happiness. But I think this is a very important topic that we need to talk about. And I think we have also the power to, you know, to convert sad moments, unjust moments, into very inspired, very powerful moments. So without further ado, I'm going to pass to my very dear and amazing friend and amazing sustainability professional, Robin Eason, with the City of West Hollywood. Robin, all yours.
Thank you, Flavia. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to participate today in what I hear is a rapidly growing Sustainachella experience. I've heard from afar how popular these forums have become. And as a sustainability professional, I'm just thrilled to witness so much interest and commitment to the environment. So as Flavia said, I work as a sustainability professional in the city of West Hollywood, California. We're a tiny 1.9 square mile city in the heart of LA County that has been rooted in social justice and civil protection since our incorporation in 1984. And while I'm proud of my city for what it represents, I speak to you today simple and plain as a Black American who is consistently reminded directly and indirectly of the color of my skin and how doing and pursuing the most mundane things while Black can result in unfair and undue treatment, bold representations of prejudice and unprovoked harm by others, or in the worst case scenario, death. When I think of all the Black lives lost to police brutality, the emotions channeling within me range from outrage to sadness, anguish, despair, fatigue, anger, the list goes on. Any one of those lives could have easily been my brother, sister, son, daughter, cousin, mom, father, uncle, auntie, or me. The intensity of last week's pain has been fueled by 400 years of injustice against Black Americans in this country and manifested itself in the form of rightful protests and unrest and upheaval in Minnesota. But what was unexpected, at least for me, is that this time around, there is a growing solidarity domestically and internationally for Black lives by all races, ages, religions, orientations, and creeds. And make no mistake, the solidarity has been long overdue. And in the words of Alicia Garza, a respected activist from Oakland, California, we should all want to see a world where Black lives matter in order for us to inhabit a world where all of humanity is respected. And so in this last week, my anguish and despair has turned into real hope that this collective action will turn into real change. As the crowds get larger and larger by the day, we are already starting to see real change out here in Los Angeles. And I'm hopeful that other cities follow suit and give equity among races a fighting chance. In order for us to be the change that we wish to see in the world, we must continue to demand criminal justice reform from our elected officials. We must continue to lift our voices. We must continue to show up in numbers. We must vote. We must continue to donate to social and racial justice organizations. We must continue to educate ourselves and others about white privilege, white fragility, implicit bias, institutional and systemic racism, and what it means to be anti-racist. We must start and continue to teach our children about race and justice. Those with privilege and power must be willing to set aside space for and elevate those that continue to be oppressed. We must start and continue to be compassionate to each other and ourselves. And above all, we must recognize our collective humanity. So Flavia, if you would advance the slide, I want to leave you all today with the words of one of my heroes, the prolific author James Baldwin, who once said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." There is no act too small to be part of the solution, and I personally believe it's important to pick a path for action that suits you best initially, followed by a path of action that tests the limits of who you are and what you think you may be capable of. 9 times out of 10, we surprise ourselves when we have the courage to get outside of our comfort zones. And so with that, I want to say thank you to our fearless leader, Flavia T, for inviting me to share a few words today. Thank you all for welcoming me and having me here from afar. And I will pass it over to Amy in case you would like to say a few words.
Oh, what happened to Amy? Oh no, I think we lost Amy.
Oh no.
Oh, while we wait for Amy to come back, Robin, thank you so much.
I'll send her a message.
All right. I have really no words. I mean, you always blew my mind. Thank you. It's very inspiring. And again, guys, this is something that together we can make the world better. So yeah, I definitely, all of us would definitely really wanted to bring this to Sustainachella. And again, this is everyone's problem, and together we can make change. So thank you again, Robbie. I really appreciate it. And all right, so guys, I'm going to keep moving to the presentations of today because the agenda is pretty packed. And as you guys can see here, we have lots of presenters. All right, presenters, are you guys ready? Because I mute all of you, so now you guys can unmute yourself. Set yourself free. Here we go. All right, so I'll start introducing Sophie with Clean Miami Beach.
Hi guys, hi everyone. We love you so much from Clean Miami Beach.
Thanks for joining us. Dara, volunteer cleanup.org. You are on mute, Dara. No, you're on mute. You muted ourselves. You mute yourself. Here, let me try to unmute. Yeah, you're unmuted. Now you can say.
Hi, welcome. Can you hear me now? Woo!
Yes, you're on it.
Happy to be here. Thanks everyone for joining.
Awesome. And we have Maddie with Debris Free Oceans.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Excited to be here. And thank you, Robin, for joining and for your words at the beginning of this.
Thank you. And Mike with Surf Rider.
Good afternoon, everybody. I cannot wait to get in the ocean and hope you all will join me.
Woohoo! And now from Hawaii in California, starting with Hawaii, Robin with Reef Guardians, California, Hawaii.
Aloha, everyone. Thanks for inviting us.
All right. And finally, with California Reef Guardians, Harry. And Harry, you're muted. Oh no. They keep muting themselves.
Okay.
Let me see.
How's that? Greetings, everyone of the planet Earth and ocean lovers. Looking forward to talking to you all today and being with these great other presenters. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Harry. All right, guys. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and we are going to start with Mike. And I want to say that we are starting with Mike, not only because Mike, it's a double superhero. And when I say double, it's because he's not only been doing amazing work with Surf Rider, but he's also a member of our sustainability committee. So yeah, to Mike. Super Mike. And Mike, you can start sharing your screen, by the way. But the reason why Mike is being the first presenter, the real reason, is because he was the only presenter that could get a haircut, okay? So that's the true reason. So go for it, Mike, all yours.
All right, well, again, welcome everybody. I am so excited that Monday, we had to wait a little longer here in Miami-Dade County. Monday is not only World Oceans Day, but it's the first day that we get to go back to the beach. So I am super excited about that. So is Surf Rider. And up here on my screen, I just have a statement what we're about. And it's about protecting the oceans, waves, and beaches for everybody to enjoy. And just can't wait to start doing that again. I also want to encourage everybody to think about the nation in a new way. And we are the United States and Oceans of America. Okay, so it's not just the land, but it's the sea. And I got a little short video I want to share with everybody on that note for the USOA. Here it is.
Now, we urge the American people to join us to start a new fight. The fight to free our oceans and coasts. They need us to free them from pollution, from plastic, from oil drilling, and from habitat loss. Just as this land is your land, this ocean is your ocean. Our waves are as American as our mountains.
So that's just a short clip from an amazing video. Surfrider put it together, and hope you'll be able to see the full length of that. So just a little bit about us. I am part of the Miami chapter, and we are, one chapter of 82 around the nation. I am one of 10,000 activists. I'm one of 50,000 members, and I'm one of, like many of the people on this call, one of 1 million plus supporters around the world. So it's a little bit about us. Starting to drill down on what Surfrider is about. These are some of the main areas we work on. Many of you are familiar with Blue Water Task Force. That's testing of the local waters to make sure they're safe to swim in, and when they're not, trying to figure out why and hold people accountable. Rise Above Plastics, my fellow panelists, I'm going to call them my fellow choir members, are going to talk a lot about plastics. Ocean-friendly restaurants. I think all of us already are and can continue to put pressure on the restaurants we visit to do away with the disposables and be a little more ocean friendly. So I hope you'll learn more about that outside of this session today. And the biggest drill down I'm going to do today is about the last one, and that's ocean and beach protection. And a big part of that is our big push against offshore drilling. Just want to put up a couple images here to kind of a cross section that represents us. I don't have my cursor, but upper left is one of the prettiest images I've just found, period, and love it. We've got Jack Johnson, top center among our executive team. He's a great guy and a big supporter of Surfrider. We've got cleanup crews during some of the Miami Beach events. We've got Luis Aguirre down there in the center. Right, our Blue Water Task Force team, lower left, and that in the upper right is South Beach. So Miami does get waves. All right, so a little cross section of us. So now I'm going to switch over to one of our most successful programs that's been going on over 15 years, and that's our dune restorations. So look, a little story I have here: the good, the bad, the ugly, and the opportunity. So dunes are pretty amazing features of our ecosystem and coastal ecosystem, and that they, it's a beautiful natural habitat. And secondly, they provide a pretty amazing barrier, a storm barrier from storm surge and hurricane events for upland properties where some of us choose to live and some of us choose to develop too closely to. I'll hit that another day. So unfortunately, many years ago, there was a plant called the scaevola that grows amazing. It's native to Hawaii. It's not native here. But this was introduced to our dunes with horrible effect. It's an invasive native. It literally took over our dunes. And here's the ugly part of the story. It crowded out all the natives. Once the native plants are gone, the fauna, the bugs, the butterflies, the birds, cute little mice, etc., they go away too because the diversity's gone and the dune becomes weaker. And then therein lies the opportunity. Where we've come in with Surfrider, we've had grants, we've had Fish and Wildlife Commission grants, and mostly very close association with the city of Miami Beach, who gives us permission and support to get in the dunes with volunteers and do restorations. So we educate the community about what we're doing in the dune as they're doing it. We get in and get dirty. It's some tough work, but it's a fun time. I'm going to show everybody a couple photos in a minute. So we're going to have these are ongoing. This is we've been doing this for a couple decades, But in particular, as soon as this whole COVID nonsense clears, we're going to have 5 events as part of a specific grant program at the City of Miami Beach. And I'm guessing we're going to probably kick those in the fall sometime when everybody's healthy, clear, the weather cools. And we're going to have 5 different events going throughout the end of this year and into next. So I'm going to encourage everybody to make sure they're signed up with us and they can come out and participate. And here's some pictures here. Upper left is a very thick stand of Scaevola. We got a big victory root ball there next. We've got some folks digging. We have family. That was a family day in the upper right. And then the biggest picture there, this is a part of our project where we actually come in and do plantings. I'm going to move quick because I see that my time is running real quick. Big initiative for us is oil drilling and stopping offshore drilling. That's some of the horrible photos. We just don't need the oil anymore. There's a lot of other sources. There's clean energy, a lot of different things we can do. Huge initiative of ours. And what can you do? What can we do? I know every one of you votes. You can contact your elected officials directly. The photo in the lower left there is a group of us in Tallahassee this past legislative sessions. Many of you have joined our Hands Across the Sand, so please come out for the next one. We had to do a virtual one this year. Things you can do personally. A big thing for me is I drive an electric car now. And just a fast fact here, every gallon of gas you may burn in a regular car you're driving produces 20 pounds of CO2. The others are a little more obvious to us all. Plastics made of oil, use less, refuse, reduce, reuse. Recycle's not even on there. Recycle's 4th in line. My fellow panelists will talk about that. In closing, I always talk about the choir, and I think most everybody on this call is part of the choir, right? So you guys are doing this, you know about all this stuff, but what we really need you to do is get other people on board doing this. So very important that you go out and spread the love. There's our contact information. And here is our more contact information. You can sign up for our Blue Water Task Force. And I'm gonna leave it over to Sophie, the amazing Sophie from Miami Beach, an amazing member of our choir.
Thank you so much, Mike. Before we hand it over to Sophie, I just want to make an announcement and let the group and everyone listening know that we do not have an opening date yet for our beaches. We're waiting for Miami-Dade County to give us the go-ahead so that we can open the beaches. But right now, the beaches are still closed until further notice.
Bummer.
All right, and Mike, if you can stop sharing, here we go. And Sophie, all yours. You can start sharing right now.
Awesome. Thanks so much again. Just really quick, I'm Sophie. Lots of you know me. I'm the founder of Clean Miami Beach. We are a nonprofit organization focusing on weekly beach cleanups and educating our community and volunteers about plastic pollution. But I'm going to show you guys a video that explains a little better what we actually do. All right. There you go. So you're not microplastics yet, but to collect more of these. right. And yeah.
Woo! I just had to do a woo after that. That's so cool. Yeah, you guys are all muted. We can woohoo Sophie. Come on, Sophie's awesome. We can woohoo her.
Yay, Sophie!
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, it's so much fun going. Oh, sorry. Going out there with you all. I miss it so much, and I hope that it is safe eventually to do so again. But until then, until we can't host these big community cleanup events, we can do other nice things. And I'm going to talk about this right now. Let me just share my screen. Do you see it all?
Yeah, we see it.
Awesome, wonderful. Okay, so here's another group picture from our amazing volunteers. Yeah, so what I meant is, since we can't really host community cleanups, and the city of course says we can still do solo cleanups. And here's how you do that. First, put on your gloves. Second, grab a bag, and I bet you will find one on the way. Like, find it, fill it. Make sure you stay at least 6 feet away from others. Wear a mask if required. Pick up trash, but be careful with sharp objects. Make sure you dispose of them properly. Sometimes we find medical waste, and you really need to be super careful with that. The next point, it happens automatically. Fall in love with the feeling of giving back. It is really an incredibly amazing feeling to do something, to clean something for nothing, and to connect with Mother Earth. Yeah, tag us in your pictures, use Clean Miami Beach and solo cleanup, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Everyone can do this. Okay, and then I also have some sustainable tips for you all in times of COVID and beyond. First, use kitchen gloves as an alternative to disposable rubber gloves. Disinfect them after you use them with proper disinfectant like alcohol or soap. Pro tip, always disinfect everything you touch: doorknobs, phone, faucets, keys, anything. Check if your favorite food also comes in metal cans, glass jars, or carton. Pro tip, repurpose glass jars to grow plants. For other great ideas, you can Google how to repurpose glass jars. Third, buy your essentials in refill or bulk stores. Check which store is available in your area. For filtered tap water, no need to buy any plastic water bottles. Just refill all your bottles and glass jars with your favorite beverage. This is my favorite one. When you order takeout, just say no plastic utensils and no straw, please. Since we're all still at home, we can use our reusables at home, and we can still do that after COVID. It also works really good when you go eat outdoors. Pro tip, Surfrider Foundation has a list of ocean-friendly restaurants, including takeout and delivery. And I believe the city of Miami Beach has that as well. Store your leftovers in reusable containers or repurposed jars. No Ziploc bags needed. You want to take your food on the run? It's already packed and ready to go. Switch to a bamboo toothbrush, and the pro tip, learn how to make your own toothpaste. Bring your own reusable bag when you go shopping. If not possible, ask for paper bags at checkout. Pro tip, repurpose all t-shirts into bags. They are washable. Use reusable cups for any occasion. No excuse for single use. You can bring them wherever you go, pool party, beach walk, friend's house, and so on. And here are some documentaries you can watch while you are in quarantine. If you need to see this list again, please come email me, contact us. I'll be happy to send this to you out as well. Thank you so much. My time is up, and I'm so proud to announce the next panelist. This is my dear friend Dara from volunteercleanup.org. Woohoo!
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. So excited to be here.
All right.
I'm going to share my screen and tell you a little bit more about what we do here at volunteercleanup.org. All right, so maybe some of you are already familiar with us and who we are. We're volunteercleanup.org, and we basically are on a mission to engage volunteers to clean up their neighborhoods, shorelines, and waterways as a way to raise awareness about marine debris, but arguably, maybe even more importantly, is to encourage people to reduce their reliance on single-use disposable plastics. And so we achieve that mission in a couple of ways, but one of our most popular programs is our website. And that is the website volunteercleanup.org. Yeah, we're very creative. Our name is the same as our website intentionally. And what the website is essentially it's a free community resource. And the idea is to connect all of the volunteers who are looking for shoreline cleanups to the people who are leading those cleanups. So it's a one-stop shop where anybody can list their cleanups and any volunteers can go ahead and find them online. And we got the idea because, you know, like Sophie and others on this call, we started doing our own cleanups. And every time we'd be out there, people would say, well, when's the next cleanup? Or, hey, do you know Sophie? Or do you know Mike? You know, these guys are doing cleanups. And so we realized there were a lot of people who were interested in doing this, and there were lots of people who already were doing this, but there wasn't a place where you could go online to find that. And so we woke up one morning and we created a website. And so a little more on that. You know, obviously, given the COVID situation, there are not, you know, group cleanups going on at the moment, of course, because the beaches first are not open yet. And secondly, you know, we're not supposed to be gathering in large groups. So this, you know, is more for a future reference. You can come to our website and find cleanups. And the way it works is anybody can post their cleanup to the website. You can see it searching by the zip code, or you can type in your city, or you can check on the map. So it's all powered by Google Maps. You can see the dots here showing you, you know, where the cleanups are. There are typically, you know, various cleanup events happening every single weekend. So on a normal weekend, there would be 5 to 7 events happening all over the Miami-Dade and Fort Lauderdale area. And so all of our partners here, Surf Rider, Debris Free Oceans, Clean Miami Beach, their cleanups are listed here. So again, one place where you can find out about all of the cleanups that are happening and sign up for them online. And then we also have a targeted Monday e-blast. So if anyone's looking for a action that they can take right now, you can get out your phone or go online to volunteercleanup.org. And then right there on the homepage, you'll see this get notified option. You put in your zip code and your email address. And then every single Monday, we will send you a targeted email letting you know where the cleanups are happening that are within a 15-mile radius of where you live. And then you can find them and sign up online.
Super useful email, Dara. I get it every Monday. Thanks.
Oh, good. Thanks so much. So hopefully some people are signed up already. If not, you know, you can always go to the website and find the cleanups. If not, you know, sign up for the notifications and then you'll get the alert. So again, not a whole lot of activity happening right now. There are some smaller kayaking cleanups that are taking place, you know, where people who've got their kayaks or paddle boards are going to places. So a good way to keep distance, you know, obviously in a kayak. And as Sophie mentioned, you know, we're really encouraging people to go out and do your own solo cleanup. Again, you know, keeping distance, but anyone in your family, you know, that you're already quarantined with, you can go out and do your solo cleanup. It's really easy, as she mentioned, you know, bag and gloves, pretty much all you need. But one of the things that we'd like to also encourage is to participate in a citizen science data collection activity. So this is our partner Ocean Conservancy, and they have an app called CleanSwell, and you can find that on any of the major platforms. It's available on all phone platforms. You download the app, and it's a graphical interface. So as you're doing your cleanup, you simply tap bottle caps, straws, cigarette butts, food wrappers, and it's tallying all the items that you find, and it's also geotagging them to the location where they are found. Millions of volunteers are using this platform worldwide to collect information about what they find on their cleanups. And so then we have access to that information. We can generate all kinds of reports. We use that for educational campaigns. We use that for policy. You know, one of the ways that we've been able to make legislation in Miami Beach and ban styrofoam is because we can demonstrate to our electeds and to our lawmakers, you know, how much of this stuff we are removing from our natural ecosystem on an ongoing basis. And then, you know, we can generate very cool reports. So like, what are the things we normally find on a cleanup? This is all information that comes right from the CleanSwell database. Cigarette butts tend to be the most commonly found item worldwide, but usually, you know, the top 10 things are the same: the bottles, the bottle caps, the wrappers, the straws, the plastic bags. In Miami on Coastal Cleanup Day, you know, recently, we're finding that the plastic pieces, those little tiny microplastics you saw in Sophie's videos, those are the kinds of things we're finding by and large the most of. We also find some crazy stuff, and I think I personally have found all of these. This is global data, but I've definitely found a toilet seat. We have found a city bike bicycle. I don't know about a refrigerator. Dave, our co-founder and my husband, he once pulled out a kiddie pool out of Biscayne Bay. For sure, a shopping cart, definitely toothbrushes, and you know, all kinds of other weird things that we find. So there is a place for that in CleanSwell to indicate what are the strange things that you find. The last thing I wanted to go through are, you know, what are some of the hot spots? If you're going to go out and do your own cleanup, you know, where should you go? Luckily, our beaches are kept fairly clean. You know, the city of Miami Beach is obviously really attentive to that, you know, and the sustainability team very much focused on keeping our beaches clean. We have lots of campaigns, and then the sweepers come every morning and they clean our beaches. But some of the hot spots are inland off of Biscayne Bay, where all of the trash is gathering in the mangroves and the riprap, and so it's just not easy to get in there with the machine. So Pine Tree Park, this is in Mid-Beach. It's a beautiful, lovely shoreline park and off of the canal for Miami Beach, and there's, you know, mangrove system there where you can see lots of trash gathers. South Point Park is a great location. It's really good if you've got mixed ages because there's the flat beach for anybody who wants to clean the beach, but then of course the pier and the jetty, so extending all the way from the beginning of the park, you know, past the Smith and Walensky's and all the way down to the pier, you can see these rocks, and there's tons of trash that you can find in the rocks. If you're more adventurous and like to climb and get in there, you can do that. The MacArthur Causeway, this is where Sophie's video was. So again, just like she found, you know, thousands of pounds of trash in a very short period of time. Monument Island, if you've got access to a boat or a kayak and you can head out to the island, it's a fun way to spend the day, is to, you know, make a paddle, do a cleanup, and come back with your trash. And then lastly, wanted to mention that we can give you community service hours. So even though you're doing your own cleanup, I'm more than happy to provide the hours. If you send me the documentation, send me a note at dara@volunteercleanup.org. I'd like to see a before photo. So what did it look like when you got there and the time stamped on the photo, the after photo with you and your bags, and then take a screen grab of the CleanSwell data, and I will gladly email you a certificate for community service hours. So that's all I have for now. Happy to answer any questions in the chat. And next, I'd like to hand it off to my dear friend, Maddie. And we are so proud of her because she just got her master's in marine biology, specializing, in corals. So she's going to share a little bit more of her expertise and what makes her the master.
Go Maddie! Go Maddie!
Go Maddie!
Thanks, Dara.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me today. Really excited to be here. Let me get my, start from the top. Hang on, technical.
I like the little chirp your computer makes.
One moment. Okay. Now we're ready. We did run-throughs and I messed this up, but here we go.
Oh, good.
Play from the start.
You just finished your master's, so we'll allow you.
Thank you, guys. I'm here on behalf of Debris Free Oceans. We are a local nonprofit dedicated to inspiring communities to eradicate marine debris, and we do this through education. We do this through sustainability consulting, cleanup initiatives, and whatnot. But today I'm just going to start by kind of diving into the plastic pollution problem that we've all touched on, to give you a sense of the scale and the impacts of it. So, to start big picture, this is our home. You might recognize it. It is our Milky Way galaxy. It is home to 400 billion stars, which is a huge number. But to put this into perspective, there are 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic in our ocean. And that is 13 times the amount of stars in the Milky Way galaxy, which is insane. And scientists have estimated that by 2050, there will be more fish or more plastic in the sea than fish in the ocean by weight, which again is wild. How is this the case? Put simply, plastics are forever. We use this material for single-use items, but then they exist for perpetuity in our environment or in landfills. And so how do they exist forever? Plastics are synthesized from oil. They're made with these really strong carbon-carbon bonds that are super resistant to degradation. They're synthetic and man-made, so that means there are no enzymes in the environment, in animal stomachs, in our stomachs that are built to break them down. So they persist. So compare this to a banana that will break down into nutrients and whatnot that can be used to build new life. Plastics don't do this, but they do photodegrade into those microplastics that we've kind of already touched on today. And so that's when sunlight makes these plastics very brittle, and then wave energy and wind energy break them into these tiny little plastics that are probably more problematic than their larger counterparts. And I wanted to point out, marine debris can be a misleading term. Not all this debris is coming from the ocean. 80% of marine debris is actually land-based, and that's because we have these major inputs that introduce plastic to our oceans. A big one is our rivers that empty out into our oceans. This beautiful figure on the left shows all the major river basins in the United States. So that big pink one is the Mississippi River Basin. So we can have landlocked pollution entering our oceans through the Gulf of Mexico. And then our figure on the right shows our stormwater drains, which also empty out into our oceans. So then briefly, because I only have a little bit of time to talk about some of the major impacts of plastics. A huge one is they accelerate climate change. Plastics emit greenhouse gas emissions throughout every phase of their life cycle, from production, from use, from disposal. They harm marine life. We've all seen the entanglement images. They consume plastics and then aren't able to digest them and can starve. But then they also impact humans, which I'm sure a lot of you guys know too. Humans ingest, scientists estimate, about a credit card's worth of microplastics every week, which is crazy. We can inhale them. Studies have found we can take them in through the skin. Sometimes they're so small. And once they're in our systems, they cause inflammatory responses. They are hormone disrupting. They can be carcinogenic. And another one is they damage our local economies. Studies find that people don't like to visit dirty beaches, as we might expect, so it can impact our tourism economy. But today is kind of in celebration of World Reef Day, and like Dara mentioned, I just finished a master's in a coral restoration lab at UM. So to talk about coral, a study out in 2018 found that 11.1 billion pieces of plastic are on coral reefs globally. Crazy. And studies have found that corals consume microplastics. They consume them at the same rate as their other food sources. And a study that looked at corals eating microplastics versus sand found that they preferentially eat plastic, which indicates that they can actually taste and seek out plastic. So what this means, a really big one is we need to worry about coral disease, especially here in Miami Beach. We have the third largest barrier reef, Florida Reef Tract offshore, and it's experiencing its greatest disease outbreak. And studies have found that likelihood of disease increases 80% when a coral is in contact with plastic. And that's because plastics can absorb pathogens, and then they can carry these pathogens around the reef when they come in contact with different coral. Plastics can then cut the coral tissue, providing means of exposure to the pathogen. And then they also kind of shade that coral and create a dark environment where pathogens can really thrive. And then in terms of the corals that consume microplastics, really new field, not too much research out yet, but they have found that these microplastics are really deep in the gut contents of this coral, making them think that they do retain them, and that can contribute to a slow starvation process. And just to quickly point out, my work at UM involves coral restoration, the growing of corals in offshore gardens, and then planting them back onto the reef. And I've definitely seen multiple times plastics impacting our work. The two figures on the left here show plastic bags smothering coral within our coral nursery. And then this figure on the right actually shows one of our out plants. So we put it back to a degraded reef site to repopulate that area. And it's entangled by a plastic bag, and that coral has developed a rapid tissue loss disease. But fortunately, there's so much we can do. Anything that you guys do at home to stop your plastic use, stop your plastic waste generation, and stop that flow into the ocean will definitely help. So everything Sophia said, such fantastic advice. Definitely do that. And then we also have a bunch of videos on the Debris Free Oceans Instagram television. We've switched to doing a lot of virtual programming during COVID-19, posting regular videos. My favorite one is our Tutorial Tuesdays. They're kind of creative ways to cut down on your plastic. So we teach you how to make your own deodorant at home so you don't have to go buy a plastic container deodorant and fun stuff like that. So you should definitely check that out. A couple of other online resources for you guys. We have a compostable products directory, so you can go there and find kind of carry out containers that will actually backyard compost or degrade if they're in the environment. We have a reusable savings calculator that will kind of tell you the amount of time it will take to regain the initial costs of investing in reusable products rather than continuing to buy disposables for your business. If you are a school, we do virtual presentations, so we'd love to come talk to your students via Zoom. We've educated over 8,000 students in South Florida. And our PowerPoint's available online, so you can use it to educate your students or your friends and family. And then finally, after COVID-19, once we're back out in the world with each other, we'd love to have you come on one of our reef cleanups and help the reef directly. We've removed 2,000 pounds of trash from the reef, which is just a fraction of the 38,000 pounds of trash we removed from South Florida throughout all of our cleanup initiatives. And then a quick fun plug for Rescue Reef, where I also do work. They're the Coral Restoration Citizen Science Program at UM, and you can come out and dive with us and actually plant corals yourself. We normally do a dive with them every summer where Debris Free Oceans does a reef cleanup on one dive, and then we do coral restoration nearby, which is always fun. Hopefully we can get out there and do that with you guys soon. But that's all I had for the day. And so to keep it on the theme of reefs, I'm excited to pass it over to Reef Guardian. Thanks.
Awesome,
Okay.
Maddie. Oh,
Well,
you got it.
I'm here. Maddie, that was great. That was incredible comparisons. Very profound. I think people are going to react to that in a positive light. I'm Harry Rabin. I'm with Reef Guardians, and we are all about reef preservation through education and research. And I'm going to show you some videos here that show both those avenues. We also conduct a reef camp. And during this whole COVID-19 crisis, it seemed we needed something immersive to bring the world into the world of the ocean, what's going on with it, and we wanted to do it in a semi-entertaining way. So without further ado, I'm going to roll that video. Let's see if I can get that. And here we go. So this is a brief glimpse into our virtual programming.
Hey, how are you? Do you know right now is one of the best snorkel days I've ever seen out here? The water's crystal clear. There's fish all over the place. How about we go out and check out some of the beautiful corals out here right now? And you know what? We may even see one of our shark fins out here today. Let's go get wet.
Wow, it's all about the awareness. So for us to be able to share some really important information about our juvenile white sharks here offshore, where I live, right over here in Carpinteria. Oh, I see some bottlenose.
This is our reef camp. Some shots when we were able to do reef camps, which we will be doing again very soon, hopefully. So we feel it's very important to get these kids out into the water to learn about their environment, hands-on, tactile base, And then we also have instruction on the shore, teaching them about fish species, what's going on in the ocean. And this is our Hawaii branch of Reef Guardians. We're also in California. And in California, both locations, we were focusing on research. And here's the shark classroom, where they're supposed to be learning what to eat, what not to eat. As you can see, that one shark had his mind on something else.
Full day. The first day I get here, flying the drone out, looking for the great white juveniles, and one of them breaches beautifully right in front of it. Just an amazing sight to see, jumping clear out of the water. Unbelievable. Now, as I'm heading back with the drone, I spot a paddler with yet another great white juvenile shark that's almost 9 feet long. And as I'm trying to warn her, it's already right on top of her. So maybe I'm nuts, but after observing so many great white sharks in the area, I thought to myself, this is too good an opportunity to miss out. So it's time to deploy that new multi-camera rig and try to get some close-up and personal underwater shots. Hey, here's a close look at that rig. It's got 4 cameras, 3 up on top, one's a 360 degree. That yellow one sees everything up above. Time to go try the rig. So I get on my wetsuit, head out there, drop the rig in the water, and bam, a great white over 10 feet right in front of my face. From my arm to my face. And the rig is running. All the cameras are still running. So I got a good still. Now, I've been with great whites before, but after that experience,
wow.
I got out of the water. So back to the drone again. Took off in, flew it out there, and saw a group of bat rays. Now remember, these bat rays are food for great white sharks. So wherever they're raised, there's going to be hungry sharks. And we've got 10 of them out there. Hey, what's that splash over there? It's a seal, and he's got himself some lunch. It's been an incredible day. Time to head home.
So a big part of our organization is doing research, and we're actually working in Miami with Florida International University. We're putting robots on the reef so we can go out there on a daily basis. We program a drone that skims the surface, it takes pictures, that feeds our AI software that's in development, and it can tell us what condition the reef is in. This whole effort is going worldwide, and we're going to start with Mission Blue's Hope sites. So we're going to be able to have 130 sites where we can deploy this great equipment, get these images, and put together a global database on just what a big impact there is on our reefs today. Here's another cartoon. This talks about the Shark Cafe. Now, the Shark Cafe is somewhere between California and Hawaii. That's why we're in California and Hawaii, so we can meet in the middle there maybe. We don't know what goes on out there with the sharks. They swim up and down, you can see in the background. They get together and have offspring. What are they eating out there? Well, we've seen humpback whales, and we've also seen sperm whales, more importantly, that eat squid. Well, we're thinking maybe the sharks are also going all the way out there every year just to eat squid to change up their diet. So these are the kind of things in immersive studies that we're bringing to the public via our website and our programming. And again, when our reef camps take off again, we'll be able to present this in person. Now I'm going to turn it over to Robin, and she's going to talk about reef etiquette. Robin?
And Robin, you might be muted.
I am muted.
Here you go.
I can't see myself up there. What did I do wrong?
Here you go. We can see you, and we can see the, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm from Kauai, Hawaii, and our beaches actually are open now. However, we can only go there as families or individuals. So people are trying to keep the beaches clean, like you folks are there also, but we aren't able to have group meetings. We aren't able to have our camp yet. However, we are getting prepared, and we also would like to let the world know what's important to us as far as when visitors are allowed to come back here too. So we prepared this reef etiquette. It's really short. There are only 5 things here that I'm talking about today. 5 things that you can do to be a reef guardian. You can observe coral from a distance. It's instead of standing, kicking, or touching the coral, just leave the coral alone. It's really beautiful and you can see it as you're diving. Leave the corals and shells in their place. They are homes to animals. Please leave them and they will eventually make us a beautiful beach. Please don't litter. When we litter, anything that we put on the beach ends up in the ocean. So please take it home, pack your trash and recycle. Use reef-safe sunblock and protective clothing. Chemicals are not good for marine life. And you can always wear a hat or a rash guard. Be reef smart. Study the reef, either with your own experience or through books, libraries, online. There's so much material that you can access. It's really fun to be more knowledgeable about the ocean. It's a great occupation, whether you're gonna do that for the rest of your life or whether you're gonna just go out there and enjoy. So please study and thank you. Thanks, and please share this information. That's all I'm gonna share today.
That was good, Robin.
All right.
I'm very, very happy that you care about the ocean. Spread the info. Aloha.
Mahalo, mahalo, Robin. Mahalo, Harry, as well. And thank you so much for all the work, all our amazing panelists you guys are all doing. You know, this is awesome. I really appreciate all the work. And, you know, I forgot to mention, guys, so June 1st was Reef Day and June 8th, it's Ocean Day. So that's why we're doing that special right now, you know, with all our amazing organizations that are doing all this wonderful work to protect our reefs, our oceans, and our waterways. So thank you, guys.
Today is World Environment Day.
Here you go, one more. Thanks, thanks, Sophie. Thanks for the reminder. All right, I saw that our amazing panelists nailed down all the Q&A. So if you guys have more questions, please throw in the Q&A. Since we're running out of time, we are going to be going to Kahoot. So Yeni, if you're ready, you can start sharing your screen for the moment you've been waiting for. It is Kahoot time, guys. Woo! Right, and Yeni, you're muted.
Yeah, okay. I just noticed that. Thank you. All right, so let's get started. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, we can see
I'm
it.
gonna move over this way.
And for the Kahoot pros?
Yeah, so for those of you who are joining us for the first time, please go to the URL at the top, kahoot.it, and use the game pin that you see here, 4619324.
Oh, Yeni, we are not seeing that. We are just seeing
you don't see it?
No,
let me try again.
It's in the other page. It's in the, oh, now we see it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh,
all right, so let me start over again. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, please take out your phones and go to the URL you see here, kahoot.it, and then enter this pin, 4619324. And so the way that the game works is we're going to ask you a series of questions based on everything that you've learned today. And those of you that get the correct answer are going to get points, but you'll also get extra points if you're fast. And whoever is in the top 3 at the end of the game gets a prize. So we're going to give everyone maybe about a minute and a half to join the program, to join the game, and then we'll get started.
For the Kahoot pros, if you guys are feeling like sharing, because it's Friday, we're going towards the weekend, Give some tips. Give some tips in the chat for the newbies, for the folks that never play.
In other words, Flavia wants you to give out the answers.
Are
you allowed to play?
Yes, you're allowed
the
to play.
panelists can play. Just don't
Okay.
win, Harry. But you know what? I used to tell the panelists to not win. I don't think you guys are going to win because we have Kahoot Pros and they are pretty fast. So
I think we have a good number of people. We can get started now. All right, guys,
let's
get ready.
do
Actually, I'm gonna hopefully this will mess it up. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. First question. How many pounds of CO2 pollution are produced burning a gallon of gasoline? Awesome. So yes, it's definitely 20. It looks like there's some mixed answers, but 15 of you got it right. Good job. So who's at the top? Julieta, Amalia, and Randy. All right, next question. About how many pieces of plastic debris are estimated to be on coral reefs worldwide? Seems like that one's a little difficult. So yes, it's 11 billion. Let's see who's winning. We have Cynthia, EG, and Greenwriter. Okay, next question. How many people does it take to carry out a cleanup? This should be easy. Pretty much almost all of you got it right. Yes, you just need one person to be able to carry out a cleanup. Let's see who's winning. Cynthia's still at the top, EG and Greenwriter. Good job. Okay, next question. What is the name of the mobile app you can use to collect citizen science data? This one's a little tricky. Yep, it's definitely Clean Swell. I'm happy no one got Dirty Turtles. Let's see. So we have Cynthia still at the top. Good job. And the last question. What are some signs of a healthy reef?
Oh, let's see who is the top winner.
Love the music, by the way. It's so cool.
I know people need to send us some like elbow moves for us to dance. You know, you guys should be sending us video with like
chair dancing
moves. Yeah, chair
so
dancing.
It's definitely all of the above. All right, who are the winners? Ooh. And the winners have to email me. Dora.
Woo! Come on, panelists.
EG.
Woo! And now.
Good job, guys.
Awesome. All right, amazing, guys. Awesome. All right, and I'm trying to see here if we have any burning questions before we let our amazing panelists go. And now I think it's a note for Dara. So if you guys have no burning questions, I am going to take over and share my slide with what we always end up with, a lot of love and gratitude. First of all, I want to thank all the panelists with us here today So Mike, Sophie, Dara, Maddie, Harry, Robin, the other Robin had to leave, Nikki, for all your amazing work, helping us getting all those amazing panelists. You rock. Yanni, Michelle, Betsy, and Amanda for all your support and hard work. And panelists, do you guys want to share any last words before we wrap it up?
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, everybody keep the oceans healthy like they've been the last 4 months. If we can keep it up, even when this COVID thing is over, bravo.
Good call, Harry. Good call. Guys, the beaches are going to open soon. We don't know when, but hopefully soon. So, as those things start opening, we definitely need to be very conscious and keep everything clean. So we appreciate it. All right, guys. So I'm going to end up with a note that, can you guys see it here? I'm pointing out onto the back.
Yep.
Black Lives Matter. It's my problem. It's your problem. It's our problem. It's everyone's problem. It's an issue that we all have to address together. And again, we can make this world better if we work together. So, I think Robin brought really wise words to us today and share very important thoughts. So it's everyone's responsibility. And a sustainable community, it's not sustainable without addressing social justice. So remember that. It's part of sustainability. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to end up with, as usual, send you guys lots of love and gratitude. Yay! Thank you so much. And have an amazing weekend. And thank you, amazing panelists again. You guys rock. You guys are rock stars. Everything you guys are doing, it's amazing.
Thank you, Flavia.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you for hosting.
In the water.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.